I want to share a headline with you so you know what we're dealing with our current healthcare system in the United States. Take a look at this. A baby was treated with a nap and a bottle of formula. His parents received an $18,000 bill. $18,000. A nap and a bottle of formula. A trauma fee is the price of a trauma center, a trauma center charges when it, quote, activates and assembles a team of medical professionals that can meet a patient with potentially serious injuries in the ER. So, this was in San Francisco. It was billed on top of the hospital's emergency room physician charge and procedures, and it came to $18,000. So this family on vacation, the baby fell out of the crib. They were afraid, and it kept crying. They were afraid, okay, there's some injuries here that maybe we don't see. Let's take the baby to the emergency room. And they didn't do anything. They just checked him. Oh, okay, he's fine. Here's some formula. He can have a nap. And then they got a bill for $18,000. The charges range from... So what happened is Vox went around to all these different hospitals, and they started inquiring about these charges, this trauma fee. And they found that trauma fee charges range from $1,012 at a hospital in Missouri, that's on the low end, to $50,659 at a hospital in California. So just to assemble the team, assemble the doctors to show up, they hit you with a charge from anywhere from $1,000 to $50,000. Now, I'm sure there are going to be many people who lean right who watch this and they go, "Oh, that's the way the system works, and that's the fucking that's what do you want? Are you entitled to their labor? So what are you going?" Okay, well, why is it that in every other developed country, you don't have to worry about prices this outrageous and situations that are price gouging like this is? Why do you not have to worry about that? I mean, listen, I'm in favor of paying doctors well. I think they should have a very good life, of course. But I'm also in favor of not bankrupting people when they have to go to the hospital. And, oh God, we need a Medicare for All system. You have any idea how many stories I see on a weekly basis that expose how preposterous our healthcare system is? And it's not just healthcare, it's also pharmaceuticals. I mean, there was another story. There was a 97,000% price increase in a drug that this kid was taking, and it just happens. Like, they just, okay, whatever, under new management, we want to price gouge you now, so we're just going to jack the prices up. This is shit that happens all the time in the U.S. Now, with pharmaceuticals, it's maybe even worse, because what happens is, usually, taxpayer money funds research for these products, for medicine, at public universities, and then they come up with some sort of treatment, and then pharmaceutical companies swoop in, buy up the rights to that, and then price gouge you. So you pay for the initial investment into the research and development with your tax money, and then a pharmaceutical company buys the rights to it, and then they jack up the prices on you. So you're getting screwed in multiple ways. If you're paying for the research and development, why shouldn't you get a fair rate when it's time to have the drug? It's unbelievable what goes on in this country. It really is mind-boggling. And now we're talking about up to a $50,000 charge just to when you go to the emergency room? Don't tell me this is normal. It's not normal because every other developed country doesn't have to deal with shit like this. So, this is what we're dealing with in the U.S. And by the way, this was when somebody was vacationing and they came here and they saw this, and that's one of the reasons why it became a story. We're so used to getting screwed that oftentimes we don't even go to the press with these stories. I've covered other stories of people who had babies early when they were in the U.S. on vacation, and the bill that they ended up getting, and they were like, what the fuck? I have a friend of mine, they're planning on having a kid in the near future, and he now lives overseas, and he's like, no, I'm not. We might come to the U.S. afterwards, but we're not going to have a baby in the U.S. because it's too expensive. It's a joke. It really is a fucking joke. And I love how the media is oblivious and they act like we don't know what the answers are. We know what the fucking answers are. It's a Medicare for all system. So why don't you point out what the answer is and cover it as if that is the fact, because it is a fact. But instead of doing that, no. You fucking act like, oh, some say the answer is more privatization and capitalism. Some say it's Medicare for all. Thank you for your bullshit talking points.